Alrighty, so today we're going to be solving some quadratic equations, and we're going to look at three different methods today. We'll see some other methods in the future. So today we're going to look at factoring, finding square roots, and then also graphing. So let's jump into it. So to solve a quadratic by factoring, here's just some basic steps I put together for you. So write it in this form: ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So now we factored before. The only difference, we're actually making an equation. We're going to have equals 0. Okay? Factor it. Remember some strategies there, and I'll review those here. Set each factor equal to 0, and then solve each little equation, basically. Not too bad. Okay, let's look at example. X squared plus 7x equals 18. Notice that doesn't look like this, so I need to bring that 18 over. So I want to write it as x squared plus 7x minus 18 equals 0. Sorry, that's bugging me. Let me just clean that up real quick. So x squared plus 7x minus 18 equals 0. Now we want to factor from there. Remember what I look for when I factor? So I want two numbers that multiply to make that add to make that. Well, in this case, what could I have? I could have 9 and negative 2, right? 9 times negative 2, negative 18, 9 minus 2 is 7. So this would be x plus 9 times x minus 2 equals 0. Now if we were just factoring, we'd be done, but we're actually solving an equation. So x plus 9 times x minus 2 equals 0. How could that be true? Well, if this thing equaled 0, 0 times whatever this was would equal 0. Or if x minus 2 equaled 0, 0 times whatever this was would equal 0. That's why we set each equal to 0. So x plus 9 equals 0. X minus 2 equals 0. Now he's got two simple little equations, right? So x could equal negative 9, subtract your 9 over, or x could equal 2. Hey, there you go. We just solved a quadratic. Notice two possible solutions. It's a squared. How about this guy? Now it's already said equal, but I did it because it's got a 3 out front. So remember the strategy there. So 3 times 8 is 24. Let me just write it over on the side. So 24. So I want two numbers that multiply to make 24. They will also add to make negative 14. Well, how about negative 2 and negative 12? So then I'm going to rewrite this. 3x squared minus 2x minus 12x plus 8 equals 0. Remember what I just kind of review in the past. Those two terms equal negative 14x. So I just replaced it. Then I'm going to group here by, or I'm going to, group and factor by grouping. So what could I pull out of this? Well, I could pull an x, so that'd be 3x minus 2. Out of this, I could pull a negative 4, and that would leave 3x minus 2, right? Yeah, negative 4 out of both of those. Notice these are the same, which they should be. And so then I've got 3x minus 2 times x minus 4. Same thing from there now. Set each factor equal to 0 and solve. So 3x minus 2 equals 0. X minus 4 equals 0. Of course, x equals 4. Just rearrange it. This one, add your 2, divide your 3. So x would equal 2/3 for that one. And there you go. That's how you factor and to solve quadratics. Okay, what if they don't have a middle term? In that case, they're even easier to solve. Okay, if they don't have a middle term, just find square roots. Okay, so to solve a quadratic by finding square roots, again, I just put some basic steps, but I think you'll find this is a nice one. Write it like this. So instead of setting it equal to 0, do ax squared equals c, whatever that constant is. Then we want to get that x squared all by itself, divide a over to the other side, and now take the square root of both sides. Okay, now here's a big thing people forget. On the right side, you're going to have a plus or minus over there. Okay, I'll illustrate as we solve these. So 4x squared equals 25. I added that 25 over. Now divide my 4. Okay, x squared equals 25/4. Now, let me just rewrite. X squared equals 25/4. How do I get rid of that square? Well, I'm going to square root both sides. When I do that, here's the key. Out in front, I have to add that plus or minus, because you could have a negative times a negative would equal this thing, or a positive times a positive. So square root of x squared is just x, and now I get plus or minus, square root of 25 is 5, square root of 4 is 2, so plus or minus 5 halves. There you go. Remember that plus or minus. How about this guy? Divide your 3 over, x squared equals 8. Same thing, square root both sides, add that plus or minus. So x equals plus or minus square root of 8, which we can simplify just a little bit. Square root of 8 is going to be 2 square root 2. Maybe I'll revisit that real quick. Square root of 8 would be same as square root of 4 times square root of 2, and square root of 4 is 2. That's why that 2 is out front. And so that would be the exact solution to that guy. Now, what if we can't factor and maybe we can't make it take square roots very nicely? Okay, well, we can graph. Okay, you could always graph, by the way, but let's graph. Write it like this. So it actually looks like an equation of y equals, all right. Graph it using a graphing utility. If you've got a graphing calculator, again, I love Desmos.com. I'm going to illustrate that here. And we're looking for x-intercepts. Where does that parabola touch or cross the x-axis? Okay, so let me illustrate here. I'm going to bring up a window on top. A couple quick examples. Now, you don't actually, in Desmos, you don't actually have to do y equals. You can, okay, and I'll show you that it doesn't matter. So y equals x squared plus 8x. Now I do need to get that 6 on the other side, so I'm going to do minus 6. And what I'm looking for are these x-intercepts. Notice there's one, and there's one. It'll actually come up, show them to you really nicely. Now let me just show you as well, if you want to save time, I don't need that y equals when you use Desmos, okay? So they're right there. Let me write my solutions. So x equals, and we're just going to round to 1 decimal. That's what the lesson's asking for. Okay, so negative 8.69. Sorry, I had to go back there because I couldn't remember what it was. So negative 8.69, which was round to 7. It's not a very good 8 there. And my other one is 0.69, so we'll just say 0.7. So 0.7. So again, negative 8.7 and 0.7 are the approximate solutions to that thing, okay? How about this other one? Maybe pause and you could do it real quick on your own. 2x squared minus 5x minus 3. Look how quick you can graph it. So negative 0.5 and 3 looks like. So it's actually got a couple pretty reasonable answers. So negative 0.5 and 3. So I'll just write those real quick. Get my pen back. So negative 0.5 and 3 are my two solutions. Not too bad, okay? All right, that'll help, I hope. Have a great lesson.